Oh, hello guys, welcome back. So, today we're just going to be doing a trade recap. I've been really trying to hone in and understand what I'm doing on as this basically nothing has changed, we're just doing the same thing. I think I'm getting a lot better at understanding how price can move and why price can move. And a lot of it has to do with phases in price. I feel like if you understand phases in price, then you're less likely to get tripped up and you're more likely to understand what the bias is, right? So coming into today, we were coming out of a range essentially, right? We were kind of ranging, I would say like a broadening formation. You should definitely look that up because these are days you want to avoid. So, okay, for example, this is Tuesday, right? This is relevant to how I traded on this day, which is a Monday, December 28th, right? So coming out of Tuesday, opening into Wednesday, we were within this candle's range high and range low. These are days you do not want to trade, right? You don't want to trade when you're within a candle's range because what price will do is it will essentially like consolidate, it will like go back and forth, back and forth. It will have like no true direction and you can get seriously chopped up. And these are days that I recently, this is actually something recently I started doing, but I tend to avoid these because I feel like knowing when to trade is just as important as knowing when not to trade, right? And this was definitely a day I would have got chopped up if I had taken a trade on this day. And then, so I basically skipped this day. Then coming into Thursday now, it was the same thing. I was in this range high, range low. We really didn't go anywhere. So again, I did not take a trade because you're more likely to get chopped up, lose unnecessary money. We don't want to do that, right? And this is the same thing for the live market as well. If you're ever opening up on a day and you are within a range, you probably don't want to trade. You can still watch the market. Maybe it will take out the range high and range low. We could trade the opposing side. But as you can see, that never happened. We were still ranging ultimately within Tuesday's candle. And then finally coming into Monday, we finally came out of that. Now you're probably saying like, okay, well, we're probably going to be bullish. So maybe, yes, the order flow is bullish. However, if you understand phases in price, you would understand that we just engaged a very key level. We engaged this high on both Nasdaq and ES. So I understand that we could see another phase in price. But honestly, it's more easily seen on the on the 4 hour, right? So, okay. So actually, let's go back because I have the drawings here. So as you can see, we're within this range. I didn't want to take any trades while we're in this range in particular. Maybe if we had taken this range low, I could have targeted the range high, but that never happened. We never took this range high or low. We never took this range high or low. And we were just in here. We finally took this range high and this high, which is really, really relevant. So initially when I was looking at this, I was like, I'm probably going to be bullish. But the thing that kind of negated that thought was that, okay, we actually are very high up on the day. We've done a lot. We've worked this daily range so much. And this would be considered a possibly lower probability day because we moved so much, right? Usually when we move so much, you can expect maybe the following days to be choppy, potentially. So I was like, okay, I'm a little bit skeptical now. However, going to the 4 hour, you can realize that we took out a key level, right? So I know, knowing phases of price, that we moved up a lot. And we just engaged a key level. So what other phase of price can I expect? Possibly a retracement. This phase of an expansion doesn't necessarily support not deep retracements, but like it doesn't really, so this signature and price right here does not support a reversal, right? So I'm not expecting to get like a deep reversal from this. I'm expecting a retracement. And that's just from understanding how price is being set up in relation to how the daily range is forming. Like, for example, we don't have a relevant low. And what is a relevant low? A relevant low is a protected swing point identified by an SMT at the lows or a change in state of delivery on the higher time frame, such as the 4 hour or 1 hour. We did not have that. We just had continuous expansion from the start of the daily candle all the way up into market open. So at this point, I'm like, I'm not really expecting continuous expansion because we've already worked this daily range considerably, right? So I feel like my ultimate thesis is really determined by understanding phases and price, and understanding what price can possibly do and how price is setting up, right? just to reiterate, we already expanded a lot. I'm not expecting more expansion, especially after we've tapped into a very key level. Now, because we expanded and tapped into a key level, I can expect another phase in price. An expansion of this caliber and with how price is setting up does not support a reversal signature. And by reversal signature, I mean long-term, continuous expansion to the downside, right? This signature represents a retracement. And why does it represent a retracement? You could probably better see this on the 1 hour. We as we were going up, we were creating a lot of low resistance liquidity. So because we were creating a lot of low resistance liquidity here, I'm recognizing that, oh, okay, I could definitely see us coming back within the range. But not only that, I'm also taking into consideration that because we expanded so much from this 1800 candle up until the 600 candle, that we could be potentially putting in the high of day coming into the 930 open, right? So my thesis was that, okay, we've already expanded it a lot. I don't expect us to expand more. Why? Because we have no reason to go up further. Why? Again, because we just engaged this key level. And another reason, we have an SMT at the highs, right? So that's the main thing. So what am I looking for going down now into maybe the 15-minute or 30-minute? I'm looking for a 30-minute model or a 50-minute fractal model. Now, what is a 50-minute fractal model or a 30-minute fractal model? It's basically a candle closure that supports expansion to the downside. Now, on the 30-minute, we took out this high and closed back within. This is a C2 candle on the 30-minute, right? And we also have an SMT at said highs as well. And now that I'm looking at it, this is also a PSP, so this would be actually a two-stage Kraken correlation, meaning it is very, very high probability. So one challenge, so that's really how I got to that point. Lots of different things that just came together to get this trade here. Now, how did I enter this? Why did I enter this? And yeah, so essentially we were already coming into market open, we were already like moving to the downside very aggressively. However, I didn't really, so this would be technically your change in state of delivery here on this, on the 3-minute here, right? And for, I don't think you can see it that well on the 3-minute on ES, but on the 5-minute, this would be your change in state of delivery here. And then we come back up into this fair value gap. Now, this was challenging for the fact that I wanted to take the weaker asset, yeah, right? But the challenging part about this was that ES kind of refused to go lower. At first, I was thinking about taking this trade on ES, but NASDAQ hadn't really created a point of interest for me to take said trade. So I was waiting for NASDAQ. So once NASDAQ started going down and we got a closure, particularly below this order block, and NASDAQ was kind of coming, and ES was kind of coming down, I was like, okay, I'm just going to enter on NASDAQ because it's barreling down. However, I think in a way this was kind of risky because ES refused to go down. And that's why I say it's very important to take the trade on the right asset, because if I had taken this on ES, I probably would never have gotten full TP, right? But not only that, we actually didn't even get a change in state of delivery. We actually did here, but like we didn't get a follow through from this fair value gap. And as you can see, we had very deep retracements, which do not support expansion. NASDAQ, on the other hand, kind of just barreled down to the downside and we got full TP. Now, in terms of how I decided to enter this, so I was waiting for a closure through this order block here. And I believe once I got this, this candle was coming down, I decided to enter, stop at the body highs here, and then just, yeah, we had a follow through here. This trade, I'm not gonna lie, this kind of made me a little bit nervous just because ES refused to go any lower. So this, in a way, this was a little bit risky, but that doesn't mean that Nasdaq wouldn't go out down just because ES was lagging behind, right? I've seen it all the time where they kind of diverge, but I think this was definitely, the framework was really good, but I just was a little bit nervous because ES was refusing to go lower. So as for my targets, I targeted Asia lows ultimately, and I just kind of went a little bit lower for that 2R. But once we engaged Asia low, sorry, not Asia low, London low, I moved my stop immediately to break even, hoping that we'd get full TP, and lo and behold, we did. Now, you're probably wondering, what is this line? I think it's just a level that I marked out on the higher time frame. I think, I'm actually not sure what that is. It's probably a level we engaged on. What is that line? Oh, it was like the previous range, high and low, that I was, yeah, it's not relevant to today per se. But, so yeah, I kind of just went a little bit lower for that full 2R move there. And let's see if ES, no, it doesn't. ES never gets down there. In fact, we would have been taken out, which is quite a shame because this was should have been a protected high, but as you can see. But then again, though, now this is another SMT here because we never took out said high, right? So, but it's just continuing to barrel higher for some reason. This is another change in state of delivery, but first of all, I'm not interested in taking another trade, but you wouldn't want to take the change in state at the highest point of day, plus we're all almost into 11 a.m. So, and because we came back up such aggressively, I would be very skeptical at this point. So I would want to wait for like maybe the second retracement and then closure through. So, I don't know. Maybe we can do something like this. But to be honest, it hasn't closed through yet. So 12, oh yes, it has closed. So maybe we can get that and then just get back into this fair value gap or something. This is lower probability, so I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of just effing around right now. Oh. Okay. Yeah, you see it's just consolidating. And we're out. Nice try, though. But yeah, we just consolidated there. If you'd maybe taken it from up here, you could definitely got 2R, but risky. Yeah. But that's really that. I'm just basically trying to hone in now on like the process a little bit more. One thing I will say is I don't have very good results on this day. I feel like these should have been wins, I think, because I had my I moved my stop to break even, so it take me out, but these would have otherwise worked out, I believe. And then some of these days, I think at least one of these days I had no business being in the trade. But as you can see, I'm taking less trades because I'm being more selective, and I'm definitely not taking those inside day kind of trades. So one good thing that you can see here is I have less losses than on my other sessions, which is really good. But yeah, it's really just pushing. Again, the ultimate goal is to get more consistency and to get that 6R more consistently and just being a little bit more precise with my trades. So, yeah. Basically, the mission goes on. But hopefully within the next couple days, 2 weeks, not months, I really need to just get this right. I can definitely see some huge progress. I will say that in terms of my results, it has gone down a bit. I was definitely doing a better job a couple weeks ago. But I guess because I'm constantly changing my process and things I'm looking at, it's impacting my overall R&R. But I think it's worth the risk because I wasn't getting that 6R consistently anyways. If I have to break myself down to build myself back up, then I'm going to do it because, this is something that's going to feed me for the rest of my life and like help my family as long as I don't give up, right? And I've put so much into this, there's no way I can stop now. 6 months in, we're going to keep it going. 6 months is rookie numbers, but I'm getting really close. So hopefully we'll be able to see some huge progress within the next days, weeks, and hopefully it doesn't take months. So in the month of November that we are in right now, just hoping that I can definitely see some huge progress mid-November or definitely before the end of November, but we'll see. With that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.